I was looking at your logo, and bring that back up, John. That is a great logo. At the bottom, it says, "When heroes need help."
Yeah,
That's fantastic, man. I mean, literally explains it in 4 words. Peacekeeper Initiative, when heroes need help. That's awesome. A
yeah,
good looking ad, definitely hits to the point of what we need to do. And as a police officer, I'm going to say, you guys have gotten just crap rap lately. I mean, people just wanting to fight the cops and don't listen. And I'm watching this new Gen X or Gen Alpha generation who says, "I'm a sovereign citizen. I don't have to." What? Jesus. I'm so tired of watching those videos. And it's like the police have the fight of everybody. And, there's, I see police, and if I'm in a restaurant and they're eating there or doing something, I'm usually going to buy their food for them or do something or say thanks, guys. Or, I'm not one
right,
to sit there and fight the police. That's who's going to help you in your time of need. Ain't going to be a
right.
If
fireman or an ambulance
you're
guy. It's going to
pulled
be
over,
those guys.
yeah,
Yeah,
if you're
if you
pulled
want to
over and they say,
defund the
show
police,
us
who are you
your
going to
info,
call?
right? They say,
Right?
I
show
ain't
us
calling
your
no
information.
Ghostbusters.
Give me your insurance, your registration. There ain't no need to say my rights. What are you hiding? You're just trying to make an attention to do a video for the fucking internet. Show your
Right,
credentials, your information, your driver's license, and be on your way. Because one day you
right.
get somebody that's, and I'm sure you've known some police officers that weren't probably meant to be police officers. And those are the ones that give the good police
Sure.
officers a bad rap. In every profession, you're going to get an asshole. Nobody's perfect. Judges, anything in
Yeah.
life. There's somebody that's been on the payroll for too long where nobody knows they shouldn't be here. And those are the guys that are giving you guys a bad rap. But not every police officer's an asshole that's going to
They,
put
they,
their.
they definitely make it harder. Every department probably has one or two. And maybe they need to do a better job of getting rid of those guys. But the bottom line is 99% of the cops out there are good people. It's just a job. We put our pants on the same way that you do every day. And their job is to enforce the laws that the legislature makes. If you don't like the law, talk to your congressman. I mean, that's really where
Vote different.
any change happens. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, but your job's so much more. I sit down to design an ad. I'm not worried if it's going to shoot at me or try and run me over or has felonies or other issues. You know what I mean? You guys have
Right.
to even just a regular traffic stop. I mean, you walk
It's
up and God, who knows what you're walking into? It's every one of those you do, and that's your job. That
it's
blows my mind. That uh, you know.
I think it's definitely gotten worse. I mean, you always have to approach everybody as if they're armed. Most citizens, are good people too. Just like most cops are good people. But you got to think about it. I mean, police face people at their worst moments every day. And it's what they see is not necessarily reflective of how that person is on a daily basis. Somebody speeding, maybe they just had a really bad day and they're trying to get home to their wife because they're late for dinner or something like that. I always tried to approach it with some degree of reasonableness too. But there are just some people that I don't know what their issue is. They're just assholes,
Fly off
So
the end. Just fly off the
and
handle.
yeah, they just go off the handle right away. And those guys are going to get every violation that I can find, and a ticket for each one of them. And hopefully they have a warrant or driving under suspension because I'll take their car and put them in jail.
Hey, officer, I'm sorry for speeding. I realize I did wrong. Here's all my
Yeah,
information. Sit back and let you do your job. You might go home on a warning. Don't let me see how you're flying again. But if not,
exactly.
hey, man, fuck you. You did this and that, MF,
Right.
and you don't need to
That's
see
a
my shit.
guaranteed
Now I'm
ticket
running,
if you start doing
yeah,
that. You know what I mean?
now
But
I'm
like
running the
you said, I
works
mean,
on you.
your best chance is just to be like my dad taught me. Keep your hands in view, be polite. Yes or no,
now you're
sir.
gonna want to
And
pull them out of the car and beat their ass and be like, "Yeah, put your hands up there." And be like,
Now
"You're
I'm going
doing
to
this
add
on
you more
purpose." No, you
charges.
made
We're going
me.
to look up
So
your child support. You're going to jail, you son of a bitch now. You
right.
was going home,
So
but
Yeah.
now you're going to jail.
Rich, do you
yeah,
feel
it's a
mental
rough
health
job,
has
man.
become a bigger issue? I'm
I'm sorry.
sorry. Do you
What's that?
feel like do you feel like mental health has become a bigger issue with a lot of the uh, issues that you're seeing with people nowadays? Is it entitledism? If that's not a word, it probably isn't.
Yeah.
But
Well, I think it's both, right?
entitlement.
Yeah, entitlement for sure. There's a generation of folks out there that just don't think they have to listen. You know, they don't think the law applies to them, and they don't think they have to listen to the police. And that's just bad parenting. You know, that starts
Yeah,
in the home.
and
You don't
absolutely.
learn that. You know, once you're an adult, you that starts when you're young, when you can just do whatever you want. Your parents don't discipline you, and you know, the kid's in charge at home, and you
Do
know
they
that's
And
even
if
just
you're a
teach to
parent,
dial
if you're a
911
parent,
anymore?
each and every one of us, you've seen that in your kid once or twice.
yeah,
When you put
yeah,
you put your foot down to put end that shit. But we've all
yep,
seen it. You've seen it in your friends' kids, other people's
sure,
kids. It's just you got to stop that shit before they get too old. This is what you got now. You know.
hundred
Well,
percent.
two things. Number one, do they even teach dialing 911 anymore? I mean, is that even a? I don't see it. I don't know. My kids haven't seen it. I don't see anything about it. You know what I mean? It's like, how has that become in the future? And then on the radio yesterday, I listened to a lot of talk radio, but they were talking about people disciplining other people's kids when they're, acting up. And
Yeah,
then
I,
the return on that is those people are mad at the person disciplining their kid. It's like, why am I doing it when you need to be doing it? You obviously don't give a crap, you know?
right, right. Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, I got in a fight with the neighbor across the street. And one of the other neighbor mothers came out in her house dress or muumuu, and she grabbed me by the ear and picked me up. And my parents would have supported her 100%.
Yeah, yeah.
Teachers were always right, no matter whether they were or they weren't. And you know, there was actual discipline that went on, and unfortunately, it just seems to be completely lacking these days. And I'm not sure where this philosophy came from, but it spills over to badly behaved adults, and the
Exactly.
police have to deal with that.
It
So,
started when they stopped spanking us in school. I got my ass whipped in grade school. They took you
oh
in a
yeah,
room. Teacher came in with the principal and they spanked your ass. Whole school heard it. The whole class heard it. And that got everybody
oh
like,
yeah,
oh man, he's getting his ass smacked. As soon as that shit went out, everything else went on after that. Shit rolls downhill and the whole world fell apart after that era of life. And just
It only
parents,
I
takes one,
totally agree
too.
with you.
It doesn't take everybody to get their ass whooped. It takes that one person to get that ass whooped and say, I got hit and it hurt. And then everybody's going to go, well, they're going to
oh
do it now. I
man.
better watch my P's and Q's,
And
you
they're all
know?
at
Yeah,
lunch, man. They're all, man, they got Tursky in the coat room, man. They beat his ass. The whole school's on crack the whole day. The whole entire school's talking about it. And that's what it
oh
did,
yeah,
man. It only took one person to make sure that, hey, keep the shit in line. They don't have that no more. Kids do
yeah.
whatever they
Part of my
want.
childhood, I went
They're
to
calling
school
the
in
police
Texas.
on their parents.
Yeah. Part of my childhood, I went to school in Texas, and they don't mess around down there. You know, our coaches in gym class were former Houston Rockets people and professional athletes, and you know, those guys. If you forgot your gym locker combination, you'd get a paddling. And you know,
Damn.
I never forgot my gym locker combination because these guys were doing push-ups, you know, while doing a handstand. I mean, you know, these are guys you didn't want to mess with. So I agree with you, man. There just isn't any punishment. There's no consequences, and that's how they continue to live their lives as adults. And it just makes police work that much harder. And now you have a society that not only supports that idea, but the police are the wrong ones. I mean, the whole world is
Yeah.
flipped upside down, right? You know, the police are now the enemy for doing their job,
You got to
and they
blame
want you to
somebody
get
for you're not raising your kids right. Somebody's got to be. It can't be me. Can't be the
right.
parents. Got to be the cops, the school teachers, everybody else.
Right, but then
Except
if you do raise them, then they get pissed about that too. You know, they want you to give Johnny a big hug and send him on his way, and you know, after he just kicked the crap out of somebody, and it just doesn't work that